Hey there friends, it's Missy again. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm back with a new layout for the Shimmerz education team. And don't forget, if you mention my name in the comments section when you're shopping over at shimmerzpaints.com, you can get one mini surprise free paint. Now I'm going to start this layout with a cut file, and this is the Out of Line Alpha from the Cut Shop. And my title is going to be You Better Not Cry, You Better Not Pout, and you'll see why in just a minute. I knew right away this was going to be my title because these are my pictures. These are actually from a few weeks ago when we went to get our Christmas tree, and my youngest child, for reasons unbeknownst to me, decided to pitch a fit and cry the entire time. And so all of the pictures that I got of her were boo-hoo sad faces, and so I just decided to make a sad face myself because the whole situation was just funny, because I never know what this child is going to do. So anyway, I'm like, okay, that's a perfect title for these pictures because it's Christmas time and they're Christmas pictures even though they don't look it. You know, 99.9% of children are happy when they go to get a Christmas tree, but no, not the Whidden child. Nope, not us. Anyway, I'm going to document it regardless. So what I'm doing here is I pulled out a couple of collections from years past, two Christmas collections from Bella Boulevard. One is the Santa Stops Here collection, and the other is Holly Jolly Christmas. And I just put them together, and I'm going to go through and pick some pattern papers to back all of the open spots of these letters in all of these words. And I welded the words together instead of having each letter. I would lose some of these letters. So I welded the words together and they were easier to move around and organize. And for the most part, I used, red and green, which are the traditional Christmas colors, but I did add in some blues and pinks. And I really like that. I like bringing in other colors besides just red and green. So this is going to be my background, and it's one of the pattern papers from Bella, and it's just white with red polka dots on it. And what I'm going to do, since my title is going to take up a lot of space on this background, I want to cover a lot of it with white gesso. I basically just want to see the dots around the edges. And so the gesso is going to fade out a lot of those dots. And the first thing that I noticed as I was doing this is the blues are different. The blue in our shirt, or mainly her shirt, is a little bit different than the blue in the letters. And so what I'm going to do is kind of alter that to make it match the shirt a little bit better. And the first color that I'm going to use is Vibez Blue Jeans. And it's this really pretty, it's kind of a light blue with periwinkle-ish tones to it. And it matches the colors in the photo perfectly. So all I'm going to do is use a skinny little brush here and dab a little bit of the shimmers onto the blue section on all the little letters that have blue in it, and just kind of smudge it with my finger to add a little bit of color variation on the blue. And so, you don't have to use shimmers in huge amounts. Sometimes it just takes a little bit to change the color of something. I know I tend to use them a lot for my backgrounds, and that's my favorite thing to do with shimmers. But sometimes you can use them for just little teeny tiny things like that. And so now I feel like the blue matches the shirts a little bit better. And that's kind of how I'm going to arrange the title and the photos, I think. The photos are going to go over on the left. Okay, on to the background. All of that gesso is dry, and so now I can add all kinds of liquid and colors, and it's going to blend and smudge and run all over the page without soaking right through. And I'm going to go back to the first color, which was the Vibez Blue Jeans, and I'm using my favorite technique, or one of my favorite techniques, and that is the packaging technique. You just spray it onto some plastic, flip it over, and smudge it down, and you always get the coolest watercolory splotches, and I love that look. The pink that I'm using is Spritz Cotton Candy, and some of this I'm using packaging. I'm also just spraying it directly onto the paper and then using my squirt bottle of water and just adding a little more water, and you get a cool effect. Look what I did just there. Did you see what I did? I dropped my photo face down into that pink paint, and I about had a heart attack. Luckily, I was fast and I wiped it off and it did not harm the photo, surprisingly. I was just, yeah, one of those moments. Don't ever work over super wet paper with your photo. I was trying to unstick them. That's what I did, and then I dropped one. So yeah, I probably said some words that weren't very nice, but anyway, the picture was saved. Colors I'm using now, in the pot I'm using Creameez Ride the Tide, and the spray is Vibez Jeni Bleu, and I'm just trying to add some blue variations there. Yeah, and I didn't want to cover the whole background. I just wanted some color coming around the edges of the photo, and then some colors showing through the letters. And it's hard to know when to stop. I know I've said this several times, probably more than several times, but it's so easy to get carried away on these mixed media backgrounds because it's so fun. And it's just, I love watching the colors blend and run and smudge. And then when they dry, they look even different, even more different. And so I always try to bring whatever it is I'm working with, the photos, the letters, whatever it is, bring it back and put it on top of the background and kind of see where you're at, because you may need to add even more. I always tend to think that I've made too much of a background, but sometimes it's not enough, because when you put everything on top of it like it is here, you can kind of see, okay, what can I see and what is covered and what do I need to do? And at this point, I felt like I needed to add a little bit over to the letters that are on the far right, because there's so much white. I felt like it blended in and you couldn't really see the letters standing off the page a little bit. And I moved my lights over so it wouldn't, the plastic and the photos, because my lights are right overhead where I'm working, and sometimes the glare is so much that it's too bright. So I kind of moved my lights out of the way there. But I'm just going back to that Spritz cotton candy and adding just a light brush of it with some water mixed in over on the right underneath the couple of the letters that stick out over there, so you can see them a little bit more. I didn't want to go too dark, so I didn't go with any of the blue colors. So I thought the pink was a little bit softer and worked out well. So see, now it looks like I've almost colored the whole page, but when everything is back on top of it, it totally looks different. So all I'm doing here is adding a little bit of splatters in the same colors that I've already used. And then I'm going to start to, oh wait, I forgot. I'm going to add some gold. Of course, I have to add gold. What color is that? That is Inklingz Minor 49er, one of my favorite golds. It dries so shimmery. Yep, can you see that? It's beautiful. Love it. I wish the Minor 49er came in like a 5-gallon bucket, because that's how much of it I want. I'm going to request that. I wonder if Stacy and Sammy have 5-gallon buckets that they could create some colors in that I use quite a bit. I could use a 5-gallon bucket of Jeni Bleu as well. We'll see what happens. That would be kind of hard to ship. Anyway, so now I'm going to work on putting everything back together. I've added some foam behind the pictures to give them some dimension. And then I'm going to put all my words back together there. And I'm going to start to glue them down. I'm going to stitch through them, but first I want to give them a light little smudge of glue just to make sure they're going to stay put. And I get frequently asked what kind of glue I use in my fine liner bottle, and I use the Scotch tacky glue. I usually find it at Michael's. It has been out the last couple times I've gone there, but actually found it at Walmart the other day. It's a smaller bottle, but it's the same stuff, and you can also get it on Amazon. And I love that glue. I swear by that glue. I use it all the time. Now what I'm going to do here is I felt like over to the right of the word you, I needed something to fill that space, and so I cut some teeny tiny adorable little Christmas trees from that pattern paper, and that's also from one of these Bella Boulevard collections. And then I cut a big one too to put over on the left. I felt like I needed a little something over on the left. And then I'm just going to go through these sticker sheets and see what I can use. And I love this little Santa Claus, but I didn't want to use the whole sticker. So I just stuck a piece of tissue paper behind it to remove the sticky factor, and then fussy cut him out. Look how cute he is. He's so tiny. And he's going to go peeking out from behind the photos over there on the left. Here's where I did some stitching off camera. I just used gold metallic thread, and I just did a straight stitch through each word, and then I did a couple of straight stitches to give the trees a little bit of land to sit on. See that little Santa? He's so cute. He's peeking. Yeah, Santa Claus is coming to town. That's where I got these lyrics from, and yeah. Whose kid pouts at Christmas time? Of course, this just makes me laugh because when we got in the car to go home, everything was funny again. I don't get it. Kids crack me up. Yeah, we still got our tree and all is well, but still, that's what happened at that particular moment. And so, you know what? It's not perfect, but it happened, and that's the way it was. And so I'm going to document it, even though there's sad pictures, and she did not want me taking her picture. But I did anyway, because that's what scrapbookers do. I've got so many pictures of non-happy children, but hey, it is what it is. And it gave me an excuse to use this title, which I think is hilarious, because that's what she's doing. Going through some die cuts and some more stickers. I tried, or not tried, but I thought about adding some little tiny things that I fussy cut out on top of the letters, like little stockings or little gift presents, things like that. But it muddied it up and it made it look too busy. So I just settled for some heart stickers here that I'm going to add on some of the O's, because I didn't want to make the title look any busier, you know. I think the font is so cool, and it's definitely one that's easily readable, but I didn't want to add so much more stuff to it that when you looked at it, you couldn't really read what it said. You know, sometimes things just can get too busy and you get carried away and you just want to add stuff. And I just thought, you know, I'm just going to leave it as is because it's plenty busy on its own. I added a couple stickers, some sarcastic stickers, because at the top, that one says, "Oh, so merry," which she isn't. And then the one at the bottom says "joyful," which she wasn't. And then "holly jolly" over on the right, because, yeah, we're not holly jolly. Sometimes you just got to be sarcastic on your layouts and go with it. And, yeah, makes me laugh, makes me smile. And I love how this turned out. Now, I felt like the letters needed a little more something to pop off the page, so I took my gold metallic pen and very lightly kind of sketched around some of the white space of the letters. And I know my light is really bright, and so when you see the photos at the end, they'll be able to stand out a little bit more. But I did add my journaling down at the bottom, and again, I used my gold pen. And I just talked about this day and what happened. But there's the final layout. Now you can really see the letters. I kind of bended up some of the edges of some of them. Bent up. Did I say bended? Bent up some of the edges. Whoo, I'm making up words today. What's up with that? Anyway, here are the close-ups. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was really fun to make, and I really love the title, and I love the colors. I love how the collections inspired me to choose my Shimmerz colors. And so, yeah, sometimes the pattern papers can help you choose your color scheme of the mixed media that you're going to use. And so sometimes I start with the paints, but this time I started with the papers. Anyway, let me know if you have any questions about any of the Shimmerz colors or anything at all, and I'll be more than happy to answer you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.